Just check these rear tires for air. I can see this one is bulging a bit at the bottom, so we'll just give him a read and see, and we'll pump him up to what he should be if it needs a bit of air. Now that's the valve. Look, I noticed it was kind of sitting a little bit unlevel, and it's coming in at basically reading nothing. So a lot of cases, the rubber, because it's probably 6 ply, it can, yeah, 6 ply. The rubber is nearly strong enough to stay looking inflated, hold the weight of the tractor, when it actually has no air. So I suppose I go about 15 foot-pounds. 15 psi, so that's coming up to 10 there. Twelve is grand, but we'll put it up to 15, and it's easier then for the owner to let out a little bit if they find it a bit too bouncy. 12 to 15 usually good. If you don't have enough air, you can get a flat spot on the tyre if it's parked for a long time, and you can get the tyre can start cracking then. Yeah, so that's 15 psi. We'll make sure that the other side is the same. So what I may do now is turn on the compressor, and it'll be very loud, so I'll come back when the compressor's up at about 100 psi, and that'll be enough to pump. So I've just taken off the valve cap on the tyre, and it's a little bit worse for wear. Look, it's a bit broken, so go and replace that now with a nice new one. After we pump, see what's in there. Yeah. That's coming in there about 10 psi. I'll bring it up to 15 and have the same to the side. I'm going to check the fronts then as well. You can see this one here looks a little bit bulging as well. So you're better off having the air in them. So, as I said, that they don't bulge and then start perishing and cracking and all of that. So this is just minor stuff. We're at the point now and we have our steering nice and precise and set and tracking all good. You may as well, there's a bit of bulge in it there. So I'll have a look here and see what does it say PSI wise roughly. It's 48 PSI max. Don't think there's any need for that now, to be honest with you. And this is coming in at 8 PSI. That's definitely too low. That's only going to make the steering heavy. I see a bit of touching up I can do on this here. After me opening it and closing, taking it on and off a few times, I'm just going to put 30 in it, and then I'm going to see the 30 there, bulging a bit. I'll bring it to 32. That's what I put in my car. 31, 32. I'm sure next time we're test driving we'll have a feel and see. This valve cap as well needs to be replaced because it's just, yeah. Simple things like that now, you know yourself, these do, it's cracked, so we'll go and get it. This new valve cap. These are important, you don't want dirt and dust going down there and then it ends up not sealing and all of that. So we'll go around now to the other side and check what's in the left front. So this wheel here is perfect. I think I pumped this already. Valve cap is perfect, so I've just given it a degrease, a wash down first with this and then a degrease, and I'll just show, I can see now what needs to be painted. Just touched up, there's little marks and chips and stuff here and there, and again the same with the other side, just a little bit from impact guns and stuff like that maybe, sockets or whatever. So I'll just touch them up, since the primer seems to be a kind of a yellow colour, kind of creamy kind of a yellow colour, and the touch up there as well. We'll just take the bad look off that square there. Actually, I might paint this whole cap. I think that would be the best thing to do. There's no point. No point in these degreaser wipes are brilliant. And there's a little kind of a grit in the wipe as well. So it really does kind of remove not only grease and any kind of dirt, to loosen it all up and remove it. Yeah, so I'm going to do both of these hubcaps. May as well. Hopefully it'll be a long time before they need to come off again. Because when I got this tractor first to do a bit of work on, one of the first things I did was I gave it a rock over and back, and you could hear a lot of things. You could hear the wheel bearings, inner and outer. You could hear the kingpin. You could hear this lad here, the radius arm, and the centre pin was done, so that was fine. But now when you rock it, the only thing rattling here, I think, is there's a spare key hanging off the motor key. So what I'll do now is I'll just push it forward just to get that wheel turned. We'll turn up the side now that we need to do. We'll be able to see exactly what, unless I'm after turning one full turn. So a little chip mark there as well, so may as well touch them up. This paint looks a little bright. When it dries, it definitely goes darker. And we can see little chips in the paint there. I try not to use any impact guns myself. I know if I was doing this every day, this kind of work, I probably would. I'll push that back maybe. I think it's not too far. Let's see where else needs to be done. So hopefully we're at the stage now of just a little bit more of a test drive. Happy that the heater plug is working. It's nice to have that. Saves your starter, saves your battery, helps start and gets the engine going quicker and easier. I think when you use it in cold weather, you have less of because you've turned the engine will start with less turns. You don't have a load of smoke coming out of unburnt diesel. So I think it's always a good idea to have one, and of course we want this tractor right. I never had one from factory, so has one now, and it's Wyken, as to say. It's Wyken. Yeah, so I'm just going to do the same here. I'm not going to bore you by showing me doing this side. I'll come back when it's done. So it looks like these wheels were painted with the tyres on. So I'm going to touch up the rims, because there's a little bit just there where you can see primer and you can't see grey. So what I do with these is I just put a piece of paper in behind and just freshen up just the bare rim. Move the paper on to the next bit, and you'd be surprised what this does to a set of wheels. Just putting a new little on just the rim. It really does a great job. You don't have to do anything else. The rest of the wheel is good. Obviously if there's a few chip marks you can touch them up, but this also stops them obviously rusting. Just image a little bit of paper in behind it, even an old card, any form of a card, credit card size kind of piece of paper, and that's after getting that little rub paint through it there, I think. Oh, that was done before, so get a little bit of sandpaper. So that's what happens when you mask these. You do get, like there, little bits of old paint. But the sandpaper just cuts them straight off. So I'm going to do the rest of that, and we'll see how it turns out. The final stage after polishing, I use this stuff here, which is cleaner glaze sealant. Really fast acting polish that breaks down quickly into a sealant, and I've just started to apply it there to the bonnet. Doesn't need to be worked in very long. So now we'll bring you with me now, and we'll just see how that looks. It's really easy to work with, and the paint just feels very, very smooth after it. There's still a few imperfections and all of that in it, that's no big deal. But as far as gloss goes and protection, water will literally just run off this paint now. Give the headlamps a go as well. So this is something I try to do with my Ferguson 20 once a year, because that was spray painted and lacquered locally, and because there's lacquer on it, it's easy to polish. It looks like this was lacquered as well. So that's just going to protect everything. Smooth paint means water will just want to run off it. And I'll polish the dash a bit by hand. It's too hard to get the polishing pad in there. I do have a smaller polishing pad, so I'll get as much of it done. I move to the 3-inch. I know when I use this stuff on cars, it really makes them very, very easy to wash. You can feel that already, it's just gliding, the cloth is just gliding along. Okay, so that's one side done. I also gave the mud guards the same treatment. So there's some form of, I don't know what was going on there, maybe it's like someone rubbed into it when they were lacquering or something, but it's after turning out nice. Okay, and because there was always a bit of polish left on the pad, I went over the whole bonnet again, gave everything a final. I find you can kind of give 2 coats seems to be the best way to apply this. First coat starts filling in all of those little micro scratches and imperfections, and then the second one seems to kind of glaze it all up, glaze over it. Then you get the effect that you want. It feels seriously smooth. The whole lot's done, like, even down here it's all polished. The headlamps as well seem to fit straight into the polishing pad. Cheek pieces all managed to get a polish too. So it should all look good. Just the dash, I'll give that a go. I'll have to see about using the small polishing pad for that, and by hand then as well. I have little hand polishing pads that'll just try and get it looking as similar as possible to the rest of the bodywork, but it's definitely really coming up well. Lovely. Okay, so that's about it for the bonnet. The grille, I didn't polish. I gave it a good rub in with, kind of rubbed a lot of WD-40 into it there, and I find that's just good for protecting it. A bit of polish on this plot, then it'll just sit on the, polish up the chrome on the badge. Looking good. So yeah, brilliant. Let's go and have a look at the dash now. Off the steering wheel, I put on the small polishing pad, and I'm after polish up the dash and all the clocks and stuff, all of the glass and all of the gauges. So that should be, and I've ran over them with this kind of a wet wax as well. So why not? What we're looking is this. Very happy with that. It's turned out lovely.